What's up? It's your boy Stu coming to you. I'm gonna show y'all a new Baitcaster setup I got. We throwing some top water with it. Whenever the season gets back in, it's winter time right now. So, but I'm gonna show y'all how I set up a Baitcaster from start to finish, even putting line on it. So, before you start putting line on your reel, I like to sit there and look at the reel, see which way the spool's turning, and usually it's turning back like in reverse. So when I go to put line on it, I just drop my spool down on the ground, take it up through that top eye, and I'm gonna go all the way down with it. Now I'm also gonna go over how I adjust Baitcasters for beginners. If this is your first time using a Baitcaster and setting it up, I'm gonna have it the way I started out, with all the brakes on. That way you don't backlash. Because the worst thing about a Baitcaster when you first starting out is backlashing. Because that'll make you put them down and not want to ever pick them up again. So I'm gonna show you how not to backlash a Baitcaster when you first get started. Alright, now I got all my line through my eyes. I'm gonna go through this hole in the front of the reel that feeds the spool through. And when I turn the handle, I can see that my spool is going this way. So I'm gonna go around over the top of the actual spool. With the Baitcasters, see, I went over the top of it. I went over the top of it like that. It actually came out the back, but I'm gonna turn it around. I'm gonna feed it back through this way without taking the reel off. So I fed it back through. Okay. And now make sure it's not hung up. There we go. It was on the bait keeper. And now I have it to where I can grab that end on the inside and tie me a knot. I'm just gonna do a regular overhand knot. Overhand granny knot, like tying your shoelaces. I'm gonna make 2 knots with it. And usually you're gonna have so much line on your rod till you don't have to worry about getting spooled by a fish and all your line coming out and coming off. So you don't have to make a real super tight knot. So do it like that. Get it tight enough on there so it catches. Hope y'all can see that. I got my scissors. Cut a little extra off. Now I'm ready to start reeling it in. I like to hold on to it just a little bit and start reeling it. See how it starts reeling in? Going around it. And this is 50-pound test Power Pro braid. Because like I say, I'm going to be using this for a top water setup. Hopefully I got enough to fill the spool up. And if you already know how to put line on the Baitcaster, you can just fast forward past this point and go on to the next step. Lew's makes some nice, affordable rod and reel combos. I got a few of them now, man. I mean, you can't beat the price. So go to your local stores, Bass Pro Shop Academy, or Lew's.com. Order you some combos. I'm telling you, they're good quality combos. I plan on getting some more, but don't tell the wife. I plan on doing some tournaments. You know what tournaments is. Most time you got to have a lot of different rod and reel setups so you don't have to keep changing setups, fish with different lures. So 2022, I plan on doing some tournaments. Now I got a pretty oversized, I think it's a 4.0 crankbait or 2.5 crankbait, pretty big crankbait, pretty heavy. So I'm gonna tie my Palomar knot on here. I'm not gonna fish with crankbaits on this rod. I just need a little weight to set my reel up with. Just gonna do a little simple Palomar knot. Normally I do a double Palomar on just about everything, but just for this, it's gonna be a little simple Palomar setup. All right, pull it tight. Don't tell my dentist I did that. Got my old scissors, cutting this braid. Don't try to bite no braid off, boy. You're gonna catch it. You get some scissors and cut that braid. Cut the excess off. Now we got line on here, which didn't take long at all. Now, the way I like to set this up, see this reel has a tension knob right here on the side. First thing I do is I hit my release, set my tension. I like to set it until the bait comes down slow. So this heavy crankbait is going to be, tension knob is going to be set just about all the way tight. Tight as it can get. That's as tight as it can get, just about. See if I can tighten it up just a little bit more. Because with something heavy, it's going to be coming down slow, okay? It's about good. Get a little bit tighter. See, I like it coming down slow to where it's pretty much stopping. Fishing something heavy, you don't want it flying down to the ground because you're gonna backlash. So that's about the speed I like my lures to come down, okay? Now, right here you got a star drag. I have that drag just about tight all the way, just about. Oh yeah, this is Power Pro braid. Now for beginners, I would suggest you get some monofilament. Monofilament floats too, and it's cheaper than this braid. So if you're like me, balling on a budget, get some monofilament instead of this braid. But I just love fishing braid in shallow water because I will be fishing around a lot of laydowns and stumps and logs and grass. So to me, the braid is just a lot better with cutting through that stuff. And now on the side, you got a magnetic braking system. For beginners, and when I first started fishing with a reel till I figure it out, I go all the way to the max with a magnetic braking system on the side. Now, on the inside, you got another braking system on the inside, internal braking system, where you pull this little knob right here on the side, and that releases the side plate. You flip the side plate up, okay? Once you pull the side plate off, you got brakes on the inside too. Now for beginners, I would suggest you put all your brakes all the way on. You click them up, and they'll be all the way on, okay? For beginners, all right? Now, for me, since I've been using Baitcaster for about 10 years, I have my brakes all the way off. But for y'all, since this is beginning, you want your brakes all the way on. And click your side plate back on, and it's clicked on. Now, this is what I like to do starting out, is practice doing a side hand cast into the bucket. Get you a bucket, do your little sidearm cast into the bucket. This is gonna be a lot of practice. I've been fishing with Baitcaster for 10 years and it's still hard for me to hit that bucket. You do a sidearm cast, get used to how it feels. You can even do some pitching into it. You get used to it, bring it down. that's harder than pitching. That's when you know exactly how much line you want out. You don't need to let out more line. You do your flip, pitch. But it's a lot easier. Still got hooks on this. A lot easier just to pitch. Got the lure in your hand. So when you get for beginners, just do your little sidearm roll cast. You flip the wrist, okay? A little sidearm cast into the bucket. Now, I just so happen to have a little private little lake out here, and I'm gonna show you what an overhand cast is like with the Baitcaster. Okay, hopefully I won't backlash. Don't hold against me if I do. I'm gonna show you my little sidearm flip I was telling you about. Easy to do. And it's real easy to do that way. If you're throwing it to the wind, it's harder to backlash when you throw that little sidearm flip. That's a weight bait. A sidearm cast, you just click your button and you just flip it out, flip your wrist to the side. I have to switch hands with it. And slowly reel it back to you. I didn't even realize that was a weight bait. I thought it was a regular crankbait. Now your overhand, or maybe it's not. It's got the hook stuck up on the bill. Now, your overhand cast, I like to mash your button. I turn my wrist sideways. And I grab the handle to get more leverage, more grip. And I throw it like this. But I use my thumb to stop it. Okay? Yeah, it's a weight bait. Doubt if nothing's gonna bite it right now. Too cold for something to come up and smash it on top water. But now, if you have this rod set up correctly for beginners, the way I showed you to set it up, you won't even have to use your thumb to stop it. All right, I'm gonna show y'all a cast without using my thumb to stop it with all the brakes on. See? Perfect. No backlash. And I threw that thing a country mile out there. But that's with all your brakes on. And that's what I suggest y'all to do being beginners. Now with me, I have all my internal brakes turned off. And I only have my external brakes, which is my magnetic brakes, usually on halfway, depending on how heavy the lure is. But here's one more cast with no thumb action. Stop it. See? Totally off the reel. And it stopped by itself with no backlash. It also depends on if you're going to be casting into the wind. If you're going to be casting into the wind, have your brakes on, because that wind will make you backlash in a minute. But this is your sidearm cast. You just flip your wrist and throw it out with the sidearm cast. That's how I started casting. Even if you're throwing against the wind, typically you usually won't backlash with that cast. It's a lot safer to throw until you get used to the overhand. To me, the overhand cast is was the hardest for me to learn. One more time with the overhand cast. Hand's not even on it. And it stopped. No backlash. All right. good old weight crankbait. All right, y'all, appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment on the videos, man. And now that deer season's over with, be able to get out there on the water, bring some more videos, man. And make sure if y'all see me out there on the water, y'all holler at me, give me a shout out. Appreciate y'all. Peace.